Hey there, I was wondering if you had a moment to talk about a load and save your Kamen Rider? If not, make time.
変身変身変身変身変身変身変身変身変身 Rider time! Kamen Rider!
Ah yes, Kamen Rider, a Japanese superhero show that's been going on for 50 years that started with the guy in a Bugman costume going around fighting Nazis.
これに違いない Kamen Rider!
And since then has evolved itself to almost reinvent itself nearly every single year, and running the gambit from being crazy over-the-top kid shows to shockingly dark and violent dramas to this. I love it. And whatever they end up doing, they always do it with style.
Sit still! Sexy style!
Now, when I first started watching the show, I didn't really have a lot of ideas of what I was getting myself into. I kind of knew more or less the basics, you know, cheesy monster costumes, over-the-top explosions and effects, and CG that is gorgeous for the year 2002. But what I got was one of the most inspiring, insane, over-the-top franchises that I've ever experienced as of now. So, I bet you're wondering, what makes it all so special? How much time you got? The word kamen in Japanese translates to masked, and they ride around on motorcycles.
I'm a Kamen Rider!
Now at first glance you might just think, hey, this is just Japanese Power Rangers. It's actually Japanese Masked Rider, you fools. These bitches don't know shit about Furbus. But yeah, I more or less kind of thought the same thing until I decided to sit down and watch my very first Kamen Rider series. And that very first series was Amazon Rider.
Amazon.
But yeah, Amazon Rider is a quote-unquote reboot of Kamen Rider Amazon from back in the 70s, but it's not really a reboot as the story is not the same. The only thing that's really the same is some of the designs are used again, and they just kind of use the name, and it's definitely one of the more out there series. Which is why, for my next series, I decided to go with something a bit more normal for the franchise.
人工知能搭載人型ロボヒューマギアがさまざまな仕事をサポートする新時代 AI テクノロジー企業の若き社長が人々の夢を守るため今飛び立つ
Rider 01 follows Aruto Hiden, a failed stand-up comedian who recently inherited his grandfather's AI company and has to become Kamen Rider 01 in order to stop a rogue AI faction known as MetsuboJinrai.net. I hope to God I said that right, otherwise I will get murdered in the comments. And while there are some flaws, it's overall a really fun show with a really fun cast of characters. My favorite running joke is that Aruto always does like a pun or a joke, and Izu, his robot like assistant, always explains like the punchline, and normally that wouldn't be funny, but the acting and like the reaction of everybody around them is just like legitimately so funny.
最後までアンナを壊さないでいてくれたおかげだ。オンに知れよ、アルトじゃないと。
今のは感謝の意味のオンに着ると洋服を上に着るという意味のオンに着る。お願いだからギャグを説明しないで
Now, this series got me interested in Kamen Rider, because I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. But it didn't really have me hooked. I wasn't like, oh man, I gotta watch more, I gotta keep going. Then I watched Kamen Rider Build, and everything changed.
火星で発見されたパンドラボックスが引き起こしたスカイウォールの惨劇から10年、我が国は東と西と北斗の3つに分かれ混沌を極めていた。
Kamen Rider Build is not only one of the best series in all of Kamen Rider, it's probably one of my favorite shows I've ever seen. And no, I ain't exaggerating. Look into my eyes that kind of blink sometimes, but I don't want them to. Please, I need eye drops, help. Now, this show made me feel something. I'm not the kind of person who normally gets emotional watching TV or playing a game or something like that. But after 10 years, she's out of the realm of darkness, and she's able to live her life, and she's able to be happy to your friend. What? No. Not only is the action fantastic, which honestly you can say that about literally every single show in this entire franchise, that the action is usually at least pretty solid. The characters are some of the most fun and well-rounded characters that I've come across in I don't know how long. And the humor, I'm not a guy who like busts out laughing that often when watching TV, but unironically the jokes in the show are like so good, mainly because of all the chemistry the characters have.
バンジョーに自分が何者か分かっていないって言ってたよね。
それ俺も気になった。あ、いや、実は前々からこいつのことは気になってたんだ。お前、俺に告白してる？してねえ。
Build follows the story of Kisento Kiryu, an amnesiac, used the power of Kamen Rider Build to fight an evil organization that experiments on people and turns them into monsters called Smash. And Ryuga Banjo, a boxer who was framed for murder and escaped from prison, who wants to find the people who framed him. And I honestly don't really want to talk about it much anymore, because I just don't want to spoil anything that happens in the series, because it's so worth it to go in blind. Or I might just make a god knows how long video talking about it again. And after Build, I decided to try out the series that follows after it, which is Kamen Rider ZO, which was a bad decision.
時代を駆け抜けた平成仮面ライダーたち、今その力が未来へと受け継がれる。祝え、新たなる王の誕生。
ZO follows the story of the man who will one day be king of the Heisei Riders, Sogo Tokiwa, in his battles against the Timejackers who are going around stealing various riders' powers to further their own goals, and two other travelers from the future, Gates and Tsukiyomi, who want to stop Sogo from becoming an evil overlord in the future. Will he become the evil overlord that the future predicts, or will he forge a new path forward into the future? Now, one of the best things I think about Kamen Rider is how approachable it is. While there's a lot of seasons, you can more or less just kind of jump in wherever you want. Unfortunately, ZO is not one of those shows, as it is an anniversary show. As this series was the final in the Heisei era of Kamen Riders. Oh yeah, I should probably, explain that, I guess. Kamen Rider is split up into 3 different eras. The Showa era, which starts with the first Kamen Rider, ended with Kamen Rider J. The Heisei era is split into 2 parts, with Phase 1 from Kuga the Decade. They're more dramas than actual, super over-the-top action shows. And then Phase 2, which is from Double all the way to ZO, which is much more colorful, over-the-top, and kind of what Kamen Rider is kind of more known for today. And the most current, the ongoing era is the Reiwa era, which started with 01 and is now with the brand new show Gotchard coming out. It is currently at 5 series and is so far the smallest one, but just starting out. This has been a history lesson with Mr.Wright. I accept all form of payments, mostly cash. Please help me, I'm desperate. Anyway, back to ZO. So as it's the last of the Heisei series, it's an anniversary series, which means it's loaded with callbacks and references from the whole era. And while I enjoyed the show and had my fun with it, I do not recommend watching the show as your first series, because they bring back a bunch of the old riders, and I'm just sitting here like,
Who are you people?
Although it did introduce me to one of my favorite all-time Kamen Riders, which is Decade. He has the power to use any of the Heisei Rider's abilities. He's also just a fucking cool guy.
なんだお前は通りすがりの仮面ライダーだ覚えておく
Kamen Rider.
And after I finished Zio, the next series I went to watch afterwards was Kamen Rider Gaim. Kamen Rider Gaim is one of the more interesting series, as it was written by the man who wrote this anime Madoka Magica. Oh no. This series has a much slower start compared to the other seasons. The story follows various gangs of street dancers who battle for territory by using lock seeds that summon little monsters, almost like Pokemon. Our main character, Koto Kazubara, one day stumbles into a place called the Helheim Forest, where all the monsters come from, and he has to uncover the mystery of the forest and the disappearance of one of his friends. And that's all the story I'm going to tell you for now, because this shit gets crazy. This series has one of the most insane ramp of escalation that I've seen in a TV show. I don't want to spoil anything for it. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to spoil it for you real quick. Halfway through the series, America tries to nuke Japan. Crazy how it starts off with a lighthearted dancing show, and then it just goes off the rails towards the end. And oh hey, there's Kamen Rider Decade again. I wonder what he's doing here.
Kamen Rider.
さあ人類の希望を返してもらおうか市民の生活を脅かすやつは俺が許さない明かりの命を未来につなぐ患者の運命は俺が変える
There's one thing that Kamen Rider loves, it's crossovers, movies, and direct-to-DVD specials. That's 3 things. I know, I can't math. Shut your mouth. Because every single series has almost 3 movies with it. One movie is a team-up with the previous Kamen Rider season. The second movie is a movie that takes place during the show, or after sometimes, it all just kind of depends. And the third movie is a team-up with the riders of the next season. Man, these actors have packed schedules. That's not even counting all the various films, or specials, or V-cinemas as they're called, or the live shows. Oh god, the whole live shows is a whole entire beast in and of itself. I'm not worrying about that right now. While it seems like a lot, you honestly don't have to watch every single movie to fully understand what's going on in the show. Well, for the most part, the movies are canon. You can watch most of the shows without having to worry about seeing all the movies, which is real nice, unlike a certain series of movies and TV shows that don't know when to fucking end. But yeah, the movies overall are pretty enjoyable and can get surprisingly meta in some places. For example, the Zio and Build crossover movie, where they're brought into the real world! Now, unlike how most American movies do this, for an example, the Smurfs movie, where you start off in their world for like 5-10 minutes of movie, then they're dragged into the real world, and the real world is boring, and it sucks, and it's dumb, and the original world looks so much cooler. They do this in a very meta sense. They both have to come to grips that they're not real, that they're fiction, but they realize and see just the impact that these shows have on people. And it's kind of just amazing and beautiful that they just kind of like, yeah, we're not real, but we mean a lot to these people, and we're gonna keep protecting these people no matter what. And then there's the scene towards the end of the movie where all the various Heisei riders are coming out, and everybody's like yelling their names and like cheering for them. And man, I got chills the first time I saw this. Yeah, it can be seen as dumb and corny and cheesy, but it's just done without a single bone of cynicism or just patronizing the people or just being like, hey, have you seen this guy? You remember him? It's just genuinely, these people love Kamen Rider, and they love just what they do. And that's kind of one of the main reasons why I enjoy this show so much. At its core, it's about people who are given a power that could potentially be used to hurt people or destroy the world, and they choose to be better and go about saving people with a smile on their face, screaming about fighting for love and peace without a single shred of cynicism in their voice, in their minds, and just want to save and help people. And that's fucking beautiful, man.
誰に感謝されるわけでもねえのに、なんでそんなボロボロになるまで戦えるんだよ。みんなバカばっかだ。けど悪くねえ。俺は俺のために戦う。俺が信じた。俺を信じてくれた者のために戦う。俺は仮面ライダークローズだ。
So you made it to the end of the video, and you're probably wondering a few things. What series do I start with? Where's the best place to watch it? Do you have a life? All valid and demeaning questions, but sure, I'll give you a few recommendations. First of all, the legal stuff. Kamen Rider 01, which is the show I mentioned before, which was a very good introduction to modern Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider Kuga, which is the very first Heisei series, and it's a very good kind of introduction to that era of Kamen Rider, where they're mostly dramas and less action shows. Kamen Rider Ryuki, which is fantastic, I do highly recommend it, one of my top series. And the original Kamen Rider, which I have not watched yet, but I'll get to eventually. And they're all available to stream on the Shout Factory app. But I believe Kuga and Ryuki are available free to watch on Amazon Prime, but there's ads, so it's not that huge of a deal. Next is Kamen Rider Faiz and Kamen Rider Agito. They're available on the Toku app, but I do not recommend that you watch it. The translation for the show is awful. It is absolutely horrible. It is less than Google Translate quality. I tried watching Faiz one time. I had to turn it off. I could barely understand a single sentence. None of it was coherent at all. Do not watch. Kamen Rider Black and Kamen Rider Black RX are both available to buy physically. And there's Toei's official YouTube channel, where there's official subs for a couple different movies, and for some reason, the first 2 episodes of nearly every single main Kamen Rider series is on there, English subtitle and everything, but you can't find any of these legally available anywhere except for here, and it's only the first 2 episodes. So I guess you can like get an idea of what you're in for, and then, I don't know, go find it. Most of the series is not officially available in the US, but it doesn't mean you can't get some high quality content through other means. I highly recommend checking out Kamen Rider Geats, as it is the most recent series that literally just finished a couple weeks ago, and it's a consistently solid show. It is the best out of all the Reiwa shows. Highly recommend it. And the most recent season, Gachard, which at the time of making this only has 2 episodes so far, and it's so far I'm liking it. It's pretty lighthearted compared to the last couple shows, but you know, later on in the series it kind of usually gets a bit darker. But you know, but so far it's a good time. I do recommend it. Build, as I said before, is one of the best series to date and comes with a super strong recommendation from me. Kamen Rider X-Aid is fantastic. It's probably my top 3 or top 5 series for the show. If you like games, I highly recommend it. It's a very flashy show. I like it a lot. It has my favorite villain of all time in Kamen Rider, Dan Kuroto. And now, I bet you're wondering, where do I find all this stuff? I hope hear me ramble about this Japanese superhero show for God knows how long has made you at least curious enough to check it out, and I hope you're enjoyed by what you find. And hey, the more people that talk about it, the more likely we can get more official stuff. So Toei, can we finally release Build on Blu-ray? Hey folks, it's me. It's the guy who posts maybe once a year, maybe streams 2 to 3 times, and then disappears for God knows how long, and then comes back and makes a video and disappears again. I'm hoping that this time I'll be able to stick around a little bit longer because I have some more free time, and I just like making videos, and I finally am at the point where I have enough energy and free time to, you know, actually do that. So I hope to make more of this stuff. Hey, I might make some more Kamen Rider videos. I might make, God knows, I don't know how long. I don't know. It's a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure things out. But yeah, if you're interested, I have a Discord server down below. It's been a little bit quiet as of late, but hopefully when I kind of get this stuff going, it might pop off some more. Might do some events and stuff down on there. It'll be fun. Or hey, if you just want to talk, just hang out and come on in. It'll be a great old time. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully that one doesn't take a fucking like 10 years or some shit. Bye.